Hi guys, welcome to Interior Insights. I'm Jane and we are standing on the 4th floor in an incredible historic apartment in Copenhagen that is filled with dreamy vintage elements, bold, deeply rich colors and an incredible design. Come in and let's explore this design together. This gorgeous apartment is one of the most beautiful historic and vintage gems I've ever seen, and I'm super excited to show you. Let's go inside and take a look. If you want to help me and want to continue seeing incredible designs like these, like this video and subscribe to our channel so that we can continue on our mission to bring you the best design in the world. When you enter, you are just greeted by this world of colors. The two dominant colors in the color palette is a strong, rich, glamorous green that spans across the kitchen, and that is also found again in the wallpaper that I will show you in a second. The rest of the apartment is painted in this very soft, warm eggshell orange, and it just has a beautiful tone, and this is just an incredible backdrop for all of the vintage finds. Now, when I entered the apartment, I was absolutely amazed because the vibrant wallpaper that you can see in the apartment is actually by William Morris, who is also a hero of mine, as well as of the lady who designed the space. And I'm sure all of you know that I am obsessed with him, and you are as well. If you're new to this channel, William Morris was a pioneer of the arts and crafts movement, and he always created these incredible pieces of furniture and especially floral wallpapers, such as this one. And so the incredible wallpaper by William Morris was the first item that was inside this apartment. And then from it, she just pulled her inspiration and created the rest of the design. For the kitchen, she wanted to recreate this kind of glamorous, luxurious, but at the same time laid back atmosphere and feel. And so she decided to use green tiles as the backdrop to also cite the industrial details of the house, because this in fact used to be a brewery, and so you have the connection of the outside white facade and the green tiles on the inside. But because of the deep green color palette and everything being perfectly color-coded and large slabs of stone, the kitchen today feels more like a luxurious bar in London than an industrial kitchen, but it is my absolute favorite piece inside the design. And of course, what other better color to pair a dark green with? It's a dark red. And so inside the kitchen, and this is incredible, we actually have 3 historic theater chairs that are upholstered in this dark red velvet fabric. And this is incredible to have an unexpected piece of something that you usually wouldn't have in your home, and to put it in your kitchen in a place where it technically doesn't belong. I love these moments, and this is why I'm so obsessed with this design, because you just have all of these small unexpected moments throughout it. And the theater chairs also cite the own personal history of the woman who lives here, because she actually is a costume designer. And we will find little bits of the theater and the opera throughout this apartment. And if you want to get more daily design inspiration and also more behind the scenes content on our travels and everything else, check out our Instagram over here. Throughout the kitchen, all of the knobs, door handles and water faucets are kept in this golden brass color to just finish off this luxurious and glamorous feel. And throughout the apartment, there's a lot of golden mirrors and golden accents. And so you have this very coherent color palette throughout the space. What I think is also really interesting about the kitchen is that we have these 2 half-high walls on both sides that kind of zone the area and give the kitchen a sense of having its own space. But at the same time, the room is still open, loft-like, and there's a connection of all of the energies inside the apartment. So as soon as you enter the apartment, you are just transported and thrown back in time, because you just enter this historic and vintage world that is filled with incredible gems. The woman who owns the apartment has spent over half a year renovating it and creating this incredible world, which we will look at today. What I love so much is that she didn't just go to regular furniture stores, but she really took time going to flea market, vintage stores and thrift stores and just finding all of these incredible gems throughout Copenhagen. It's just a real example that if you are dedicated, you can find anything and everything. Hi guys, quick update. So the wait list for the color course is now open and we will launch on November 1st. Go sign up now because you get early launch, better price, and a launch bonus, and you'll be the first one to know. So, the link's in the description. The building itself is built in 1847, and it formerly actually used to be a brewery, like a lot of apartments in Copenhagen. And so the outside facade is clad in white shiny tiles, and you will see them sited throughout the apartment, which I also really love. So, because this apartment is in the 4th floor and in the top floor, we have a tilted roof and we're basically living almost up in the attic, but that doesn't take away from the charm and grandeur of the space because there has been so much love poured into the apartment. Next to the kitchen, we have the dining room area, and the dining room area consists of a large round table that is paired with wooden vintage chairs. And of course, there's a large vintage candle holder on top of them and a gorgeous chandelier, and you are just really transported back in time, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. What's even more incredible is that behind the dining table, there's a cabinet, and on top of it, there's a large Lego building that was built by her husband, and it's a storefront with all kinds of different buildings. I can just imagine how much time he spent creating these houses and building them, and it looks like a masterpiece. When I entered, I thought he was like a set designer or something, but actually he was a novelist. But these personal details really are what just tell your design story on just what makes this place absolutely stand out. Another love that the woman and I share, not just the love of William Morris, but also the love of lamps. And that is that she's collected, I don't know, maybe 20 lamps or probably even more throughout the apartment, and she loves to find different lampshades and lamps in different vintage stores and also try to make some work which look a little bit odd. And I have a personal favorite, so the red lamp that kind of looks like an alien, but also at the same time it's a vintage lamp, is my absolute favorite, and it just adds so much life and character to the design. And when in the evening it's getting dark, you turn on all of the lamps and the space truly comes to life and feels really vibrant and full of character. Now, because we're in the attic and the walls are tilted, there isn't too much space, but the space still feels very large and not tight at all because surrounding us there's really low profile furniture, and this just creates the sense of having much more space. And so for the sofa area, there's 2 green velvet sofas. And of course, they're decorated with pillows, different lamps, and small sofa tables that you can move around. Throughout the living room, there's multiple seating possibilities with different vintage chairs or sofas. And there's all of these different materials that make the space come to life. Like for example, there's 2 leather sofas that just invite you in, with sofa tables that are filled with silverware, glasses, and lamps. And then there's 2 more lounge chairs that I'm obsessed with that also mimic and cite the vibrant flower wallpaper of William Morris. And it just creates this very eclectic and interesting design. And you can really see how the different items inside the apartment speak to one another and tell a consistent story. In the apartment, there's 2 bedrooms, and through this black door with rich paneling, we enter the first one. Now, this bedroom is an absolute dream. It is colored in a soft, light green color, and also draped with yet again another wallpaper by William Morris, and that just makes me really happy. And because we have this tilt of the roof in the middle of the room, The designer decided to put a wooden bed right beneath it, and so when you wake up, you just look at this gorgeous wallpaper that is above you. And to both sides, there's vintage cabinets made from wood that have this strong veining, and you can see all of the books that are being read here. And another personal favorite of mine, behind me, there's this seating niche where you can sit down, read a book, or just relax. And it is also clad with the same William Morris wallpaper, and it's super soft and comfortable. And it's often these, at first, very strange architectural features, like this empty space over there, that can be turned into the best of spaces in apartments like these. Also, this bedroom has its own balcony. And so on this balcony, you can have your cup of coffee, you can have your breakfast, and just take in the Scandinavian light and bright air and just enjoy the view. This is the primary bedroom, and it is an absolute fairy tale of a bedroom. The wall and ceiling are painted in this very soft yellowish beige, and the wooden floor is creaking below us, and it is filled with all of these incredible vintage items. I'm absolutely obsessed with this light green Baroque cabinet behind me. It has a mirror, and it is just looks like it's from another century, and it just looks absolutely incredible. Over here, there's a small desk with a vintage chair where you can sit, do your makeup, or write a little bit. And this space is like every other space, filled with different unique lamps that add pops of color. And the best rooms are always the ones which have a lot of different sources of lighting. So if you are struggling with your design, that's like a great way to start, to just try to add more sources of light throughout your design. And even in the primary bedroom, the design language of the William Morris wallpaper has been integrated. And so in the lampshade, there's all of these small little flowers, or the cabinet that has been turned into a bedside table also is painted in all of these little floral motifs. And you can just really see how integrated and cohesive the design story is in this apartment. Also, the historic structure of the building is exposed, and so there's these large wooden beams of the attic, and they just really underline the architecture of the space and remind us that we're standing in a historic brewery building in Copenhagen. And of course, the bedroom is being flooded with light because we have a large window front that is framed by two dark red velvet curtains that also remind us of the theater world, and the space just has an incredible design story. And you can really see how the different themes of the design language are integrated in every single space. Over here is the bathroom. And the bathroom also integrates the same color palette like in the rest of the apartment. So the walls and the ceiling is colored in this soft orange beige, and it just feels like the room is being flooded with light. And there actually is a skylight above that lets the blue sky and the light flood in, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Other than that, the bathroom is quite minimalistic, but of course there's vintage details and a vibrant green plant that brings the space to life. Now, when the lady who decorated this apartment isn't living in it, you can actually rent it, so definitely go and check out the link in the description. And if you like this video, you will absolutely love this one over here. See you in the next video. So if you're not signed up on the waitlist, go sign up now because you get early launch, better price, and a launch bonus.